Hi everyone, this is R. Maheswari and M. Malavika from Agriculture College and Research Institute, Killinam. The topic now we are going to discuss is AOA and its implications on Indian agriculture, sanitary and phytosanitary issues, market access and domestic support, and export subsidies, that is IPR. First, let's see what is meant by AOA. It is briefly known as Agreement on Agriculture. It's an international treaty of World Trade Organization signed as a part of Uruguay Round Agreement in April 1994, which came into force from 1st January 1995. It is mainly came into force to reduce the distortions in agriculture trade by reforming the principles and disciplines. The main 5 provisions under AOA include market access commitment, reduction commitment for aggregate measures of support, which is shortly known as AMS, reduction commitment for export subsidy, sanitary and phytosanitary measures, which is also shortly known as SPS, trade-related intellectual property rights, which is known as TRIPS. Next now, let's see what is meant by market access commitment. It's an ability of a company or a country to sell goods and services across the borders. Under this, there are mainly 4 provisions. They are, for the first and the foremost provision is tarification of all non-tariff barriers, like converting quantitative restrictions into import duty. Next tariff provision is reduction of all tariffs in a time-bound framework. The third provision is if imports of foreign goods to the domestic market is less than 3% in the base period, that 1986 to 1988, it must be brought to 3% to further rise it to 5% in the implementation period. The final provision is that if dumping is proved, the countries will have freedom to increase the import duty. Under the provision B, it includes the country's period and the reduction. For developed country, the period is for 6 years and the reduction is 36%. And for the developing country, the period is 10 years and the reduction is 24 years. Less developed countries, they have no base period and the reduction is also 0. Those with base period problem, the period is not there and the reduction is also 0. The second provision is aggregate measures of support. It is the sum of product-specific and non-product specific subsidies. If AMS is the base period, that is 1986 to 1988, is more than the permissible limit, it should be reduced by the following amount during the implementation period. Under this, it includes the country, permissible AMS, that is expressed in percentage of GDP, reduction commitment if exceeds the limit. For developed country, the permissible AMS is 5% and if the limit is exceeded, the reduction commitment will be 20. For developing country, the permissible AMS is 10% of GDP and the reduction if it exceeds the limit is 30%. For less developed countries, it is not, hence there will not be more reduction. Those with base period problem, there is no permissible AMS and also the reduction commitment is also 0. Then let's go on to the topic subsidies. It's considered to be a market distortions and have a reduction commitment based on the product specific and non-product specific calculations of AMS based on levels of 1986 to 88 expressed as a percentage and the value of the production of the relevant agriculture product or entire agriculture production. Under subsidies, there are mainly 3 types of subsidies. They are known as Greenbox Subsidies, Bluebox Subsidies and Amberbox Subsidies. Under Greenbox Subsidies, it includes the amount spent on government services such as research, disease control and infrastructure maintenance. Under the Bluebox Subsidies, it includes the programs that limit production by importing quotas or encourage farmers to set aside land for other purposes. And finally, the Amberbox Subsidies include seeds, electricity and fertilizers.
Hi everyone, I am Malavika from Sanitary Phyto. I am going to cover remaining 3 provisions under the AOA. The third provision under the AOA is export subsidies. Export subsidies is it's a subsidy given to the trader to cover the difference between internal market price and world market price. The reduction commitment for export subsidies required that all the developed countries would reduce the export subsidies by 36% in 6 years and all the developing countries would reduce the export subsidies by 24% in 10 years. And the fourth provision under the AOA is Agreement on Application of Sanitary and Phytosanitary Measures. It deals with the standards for the food safety, plant and animal health. World Trade Organization encourages the member countries to use the international standards or guidelines where they exist. Some of the examples are Codex Alimentation Commission is named for food safety, and International Office of Epizootic for Animal Health, and the Plant Protection Convention for plant health. The fifth provision under the AOA is trade-related intellectual property rights. There are different forms of trade-related intellectual property rights are given by World Trade Organization. They are patent, copyright, trademark, design, trade secret, and geographical indications. We will see one by one. First is a patent. Patent is nothing. It is an exclusive right granted to the inventor to use and market the invention for a limited period of time in consideration of disclosure of the invention. But the product must be novel and should having the industrial application and must be useful for entertainment of the product. So patents are given only for the invention, not to the discovery. Invention means it is a solution to the specific problem in the field of technology. And the second one is a copyright. Copyright law deals with the rights of intellectual creator. It concerns with the protecting the creativity and ingenuity. The copyright should be registered at the Ministry of Human Resource Development, which is valid for 60 years after the death of the author or creator. The third one is a trademark. It is a sign that individualizes the goods of given enterprise and distinguishes them from the goods of its competitors. It may be a word or abbreviation or name or figure and hologram. And the fourth one is a design. It includes the features of structures, configuration, pattern, ornament or composition of lines and colors applied to the article in a 2 or 3 dimension form by any technical process. The process may be manual or civil or electrical or chemical, mechanical or combinations of all. And the fifth one is a trade secret. It is an agreement between the employer and the employee to keep the research information as a secret or a confidential. And the sixth one is a geographical indication. It's a place name used to identify the product. They provide the legal means so that the interested parties can stop the use of such geographical indication for the product that does not originate from the used place name or do not have the usual characteristic associated with that place name. Thank you everyone for watching our video.